That was 5 miles under the limit.
May I see your driver's license, please?
What for?
You crossed the double line. That's dangerous. You and anyone on the other side of the road.
There's 18 wheels on that baby. Now, you're not going to give me a ticket because I crossed the double line taking a turn, are you?
Sorry, your driver's license, please. Would you take it from the case, please? Thank you.
You can't stand to give a guy a break, can you? If I was hauling one of them big-name rigs, you would have let me alone. It's easy to pick on the little guy, ain't it, huh? Did you check the ashtrays?
One of you wildcatters took that curve wire 2 nights ago. Brakes failed, wiped out 4 cars and 7 people. Sign here, please. Thank you, sir.
Listen, I could use some credit, huh?
Oh, forget it, Jarrett.
Oh, I'll pay you back double, Charlie. All I need is a little oil to get back to L.A., that's all, huh?
You guys are a lot better at promising than you are at paying.
Never trust a wildcatter, Charlie.
Hey, mind your own business, will you?
I just want to see my friend Charlie get stuck again.
What's the matter with you? I just told you to mind your own business. Don't you hear that?
Here, cool out. Here, both of you.
Oh, boy.
Behave
Someday I'm going to get lucky. I'm going to meet you without that badge and steel helmet, buddy. Okay.
Hijackers! Pull it over!
Leave me alone, will you? Leave me alone!
Pull over! Pull it over!
You hit him, buddy. We saw the whole thing. You killed him. He made us throw whatever money we had on the front seat, and then he just got in the car and drove away.
And all you noticed about him was his shoes?
Well, a postman always remembers names and house numbers. I'm a shoe salesman.
He had close-cropped hair, shaggy and back, and he needed a shave. His chin could rub the skin off of you.
Is there anything else you noticed about him?
Well, he was scared. I mean, you could almost smell it.
This is an awful situation, officer. Isn't there somehow you can work it so that, well, being parked here, I mean, I work in a bank, and this sort of publicity is bad for our public image.
There's the last ticket he wrote. It's made out to Steve Jarrett.
License number matches. That's our man. Oh, thank you very much. If there are any further questions, we'll let you know.
Well, there is something I want to talk to you about, something...
If you
maybe
catch
it's a
the
little-
man, you'll charge him with murder, won't you?
That's up to the district attorney to determine.
Oh, but then there'll be a trial. And you'll drag me into a courtroom and I'll have to testify.
You see, officer, we didn't really see anything much. Neither of us did. You see, it was too dark and we were too far away. We wouldn't be much use.
Take us down to the car, will you?
Tell him, Melvin, I could lose my job.
I'm sure that the police wouldn't want a girl to lose her job. And besides, you can't force us to testify. We won't do it.
Sure you will.
All I know is he said his name was Jarrett, Steve. What more do I got to find out about a guy to hire him to drive a load? No. No, his eyebrows was a little more pulled down. They're like John Wayne, you know.
This guy had the decency to carry a California license who could have saved all this trouble.
Clint, you make it a habit of hiring a driver without knowing where he comes from? Where he lives?
Where he lives? I ain't got no dough to hire one of them guys that they could pay time and a half after only 8 hours. I gotta take them wildcatters. Those guys, they haul a load to one place, they wait for another haul, they go someplace else, you know. Yeah. Now you got it. But
What's wrong?
I don't know, that nose. That nose looks like it blocked a couple too many.
You ever think of checking a man's background?
What are you talking? Wildcatters ain't like real people. You understand? When a guy like that comes to me, and he says he wants to work under scale, I mean, what am I gonna do, not hire him? Oh, holy Toledo. Now I gotta hire another driver to go up there and get back that rig. That's $20.
How's that?
I tell you, I remember his eyes were so round. Boy, I bet when you corner him, you're gonna shoot him on sight. I mean, when a guy kills a cop, everybody drops what they're doing and they go on the warpath, huh? It's day and night. Day and night. That's him, Steve Jarrett.
The tire skid marks show he was doing at least 75 miles an hour when he tried hitting the brakes. This cast is the left front tire, the one under the fender that hit Patrolman Rogers. This, and finding paint from Rogers' motorcycle on the fender, definitely established contact. The fingerprints are probably Jarrett's. They match the fingerprints of the stolen car. Anything else?
Yes. Tell us where to find this gopher. I mean, what hole did he crawl into? It's been 2 weeks.
Not much background to go on either. At 17, subject was sentenced to 1 year in the state reformatory, Indiana, for breaking into grocery store, stealing certain items of food. Escaped after 6 months. Age 14, subject and brother Joseph Jarrett, 12, assaulted and ran away from Samuel Tucker, farmer, Twin Trees, Illinois, where both had lived under state orphanage subsidy. Age 8, subject and brother Joseph admitted to Chicago orphanage, mother dead, father's whereabouts unknown. That's it.
Lieutenant Bone. Put him through. Jerry Miller. Yes, Mr. Miller. No, a few leads, but nothing solid. It's hard to say. But the guy's picture's been on more walls than copies of the Mona Lisa. I've got an all-points bulletin.
No, I'm not arguing with you, Mr. Miller. I'm just trying to explain the situation. Okay. Fine.
You think the district attorney would realize we don't like people going around killing policemen any more than he does?
They want him now. I want him now, and you. What are you so relaxed about? Everybody who hates this guy is making like a volcano.
I just hate him with less noise.
Well, hate him with more noise. Maybe it'll change our luck.
Lieutenant Bone, I promise you tonight I will hate loudly and with all the hate that's in me.
Murder it! Swing that club!
Run. Is it so difficult for them to get one lousy run? Well, it must be, or they'd have one by now. You know, John, you're logical. You got that keen, logical mind of an attorney. Remind me never go to a baseball game with you again. Easy chance. But like they say in baseball, Mickey, good hands.
Attention, please. Sergeant Nick Anderson. Sergeant Nick Anderson. Call the Dodger operator.
Could be your wife. Yeah. If I had a wife. What was he doing in Utah?
What do you care what he was doing in Utah? He was picked up there.
Now, we've already started extradition proceedings. So pack an extra change of socks, pick up the papers and some money, and get going.
You fly to Salt Lake City, rent a car, and drive the veteran.
Come back the same way. The whole thing will take you 2 days.
By that time, this game will be over. We've got a no-hitter going.
Nick, goodbye.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah?
What's the score?
Nothing.
Hey, Nick. This guy you're bringing back. I think he's got nothing more to lose by killing another police officer.
So be careful.
Sure. I'll be careful.
Mr. Stephen Jarrett, the court has appointed you a counsel, and he's pleaded your case. However, the court can see no reason why you should not be returned to the sovereign state of California, and hereby instructs the sheriff to deliver said Stephen Jarrett to the custody of the extradition officer of that state.
Your Honor, what about my brother?
Why, Sheriff Dowdy here has testified that he could find no evidence that your brother exists.
Yeah, but he does. He's sick, Your Honor. He's very sick. He needs medicine. That's how they caught me. I came to town to get medicine, Your Honor.
Hand him over.
There he is, and you're welcome to him.
Thanks, Sheriff. Well, come on, Jared. We have a long ride to the airport.
Sorry the road's in such a sorry state, Anderson.
Nonsense. Enjoyed every minute of it. Reminded me of Korea when I drove a tank through a minefield.
You guys are so much with crooks and highbinders, you figure everybody for a liar. I'm telling you for the last time, I have got a brother. And the chump's been looking for uranium for nearly 6 months. It's only about 20 miles from here. The kid's mighty sick, man. He's burning up with fever. And he's all alone.
I couldn't make a side trip like that if you showed me his x-rays. My orders are to take you to L.A. Fast.
But it's the truth, man. The guy hasn't got a heart. They give him a badge to stick in the hole. I wear these cuffs all the way to L.A.?
We'll take him off at the station. There'll be another way to make you stay put.
After that, a couple of 100 years in the pen.
This is the roughest part. If you bounce, don't bounce toward me. I'll get nervous.
How about another light? You're gonna need both hands on the wheel for that road.
drag it! Easy now, boy. Easy. All right, now. The key. Come on. The key. Now, look. If a car comes along and I'm cooked, I'll fix you for life. A slug in each knee. You want that? So the key, come on. Empty your pockets. Empty your pockets. Come on. Don't try to be a wise guy. You said you'd unlock them at the railroad station.
All right! Hold it!
All right, don't throw them. Just put them down, and just push them. Get back, get back, get back! All right. All right, now, the other one. Take it off.
There's nothing in it but my foot.
And the sock, too. Oh. Now, don't turn around. How are you, kid, huh?
Me? Getting better all the time.
Hey, Joey. There's a guy outside who can give us a ride back to L.A. We can see a good knock. What do you say?
I'm doing. That big strike is going to happen any day now. Man, we're going to have everything we ever wanted, Steve. Everything.
Oh, we could always come back, Joey, huh?
Please. It'll be better tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, kid, sure.
Make us a rabbit stew. That always made me healthy. Hey, remember I always wanted to save the rabbits because I said they were lucky. And you always said they
went Perry looking for the rabbits.
Right now, kid. Right now. Right. Joey, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, follow the rainbow, kid. Maybe you'll find the pot of gold after all. Hey, Joey. Without you, what'll I dream about? Where do my hopes go now? Joey.
Want it here or from a jury?
I hope they're busted.
Sprained, I think.
Well, we don't make a happy couple, so? What are you going to do?
Wait until morning. Take it to the highway.
Oh, man. You're going to trip and break your stupid neck. You can't walk in this kind of country like that. You have to be able to keep your balance.
Balance?
Yeah.
That's a word for a philosopher, Jarrett.
What are you talking about?
You know, more balance, less crime. Less crime, less chance of a guy like me spraining his wrists. How about that?
You want me to bandage them up for you, just say so. What do I do now? Stick you over my shoulder and burp you? As soon as it's daylight, you're on your own. I'm a dope for not highballing it right now.
Where would you go?
Far and fast.
Not anymore, Jarrett. You killed a cop.
I didn't kill him. I swerved. It was an accident.
You know, you're like a drop of fat skating on a hot griddle. If you stay put, you're finished. If you fall off, you're in the fire. You killed the policeman.
These road rats were grabbing my load. I scared them off. Took after them in the rig. Then this cop comes up behind and he tries to flag me down for speeding. I try to make him understand. It's hijackers. Hijackers! Yeah, but you know how it is with any uniform. Under the helmet, stone. Cold rock instead of a brain.
He had a brain and a heart and feelings. He was warm in the sun and he got wet when it rained. He laughed once in a while. Not like you. He had a wife and 2 kids.
Uranium. Ain't that a laugh? But he believed it. Yeah. Not a funny kid. No matter how bad they wrapped him today, he kept thinking something great was coming up tomorrow. But it never did. Never. Yeah, what a dumb kid. What a dumb kid.
Sounds like a nice kid.
Well, you would have liked him. I never met anybody who didn't like Joey. The only thing was he never knew the score.
Not wised up like you, eh, Jarrett?
You know, I never talked so much in my life. I guess it's the first time anybody held back his knuckles long enough to listen.
Fire's getting low.
Yeah. How old are they? The kids. You said the cop left 2 kids.
Are you feeling sorry for them? Pretty late in the day for that.
I didn't say I felt sorry for anything. All those guys want to do is run us wildcatters off the roads, that's all. They got orders to do it. You know, you give a driver 6 tickets, his license is suspended, and that's the end of him. Now, how's he going to put bread on the table, huh? How? All I ever wanted to do was work. Be let alone. And maybe someday to own my own truck. Put together a couple of bucks. But to be left alone. Maybe it's a good thing Joey died. Good for him, good for me. Now nobody has any strings on me. Yeah, the big thing is to never need anybody. Never let anybody need you.
thing is to be free.
Why don't you open your mind and let a little air in? Nobody's free the way you mean it. Nobody ought to be. We're all responsible for each other. You can't get away from it, Jarrett, no matter how far you run. Maybe that's why you stuck around last night, when I got hurt.
It was a mistake. I should have left you there. And look, don't you put on that you listen to me voice. I don't take that from anybody. You hear me? Well, I guess this is where we shed a tear and say goodbye.
Well, while you're crying, you mind giving me back my property? Cost $50. How far do you have to push one of those rigs to make $50?
Stand up. Now, wait a minute, stupid. You just gonna sit there? I told you this is where I roll it.
Well, roll it. I'm not crazy about you either.
Yeah. You know how to get back there? If you can?
That'll be a credit to my scoutmaster.
Yeah, I'll bet you were a Boy Scout, too. Not me.
That's right. You never join anything, do you?
And that's the way to be.
Sure. Stranger. Always on the outside, looking in.
Suppose I get you to a road and leave you there. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Wanted you to know that's what I'm thinking.
You might take it back if you knew what I'm thinking. I hope you never make it. I hope you croak for throwing this hook into me.
Car coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you get yourself a ride. I'm gonna.
Loaded, believe me.
You little louse.
I can't let you go, Jarrett. That's storybook stuff.
You see how right I was? You let yourself need anybody, you let anybody need you. And it's right down the grade, without any brakes.
louse. You miserable louse.
Jarrett, I'm gonna have to shoot you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, kill me. Kill me or I'll kill you.
Jed, tie up that wound. Found your car. We've been looking for you all over creation.
Bleeding much?
Not half enough, if you ask me. But then you got him. That's the important thing.
Yep. I got him.
Now, the Carruthers woman was found in a position similar to the other two women. She was also strangled with a silk stocking. Now, there are some similarities amongst all three women that... Hey, Nick, are you listening?
Oh, sure.
Okay, now, each of the women was between 35 and 40. Say, Nick.
This report leaves a lot of questions wide open. Now, this guy has... Nick, are you with me?
Oh, cobwebs. Thinking about Steve Jarrett.
We've got a whole city full of people to think about. One case can't stop the machinery.
Don't you think I know it? That's been Jarrett's problem all his life. He was never important enough to stop the machinery.
Nick, you think just because he gave you a break out there in the desert, that evens the score?
Doesn't he get any points for it?
Nick, it was his fault that you needed saving. Now, why pin a medal on a guy just because, for once, he acts like a human being? Since you brought him back here, he's been his old self. A rattlesnake with rabies.
He's scared to death by the way he's hemmed in by what's happening to him.
Tell it to the DA. It'll melt his heart.
I think I will.
Sergeant, we'd be derelict in our duty if we took the soft approach on a killer, especially one who's killed a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, but you're talking about a name on an indictment. Don't you want to hear about the man?
If I didn't know what a good, hard-working officer you were, I'd have you thrown out of this office. I'm not hired to prosecute, I'm hired to protect the people. Now, if that means putting some guy away for 6 months or a lifetime, well, I'll do what I feel is best for the county. I don't prosecute cases I don't believe in, and I base my decisions on facts. Stephen Jarrett threatened to kill, and he killed. Now, that's first degree, and I'm going to take him all the way. Nick. Why don't you ask yourself this? Would you be trying so hard if he hadn't saved your life?
I don't know, maybe not. But I figure it this way. Our idea of justice is that this man took a life, so we must take his life. But since he saved my life, can't I try to save his?
Welcome home, Counselor.
Congratulations, Counselor.
Any statements taken?
How was the temperature in San Francisco, Counselor?
The weather or the attitude? Both. Weather cold, attitude warm.
Considerably warm.
Out under the collar?
That's a distortion.
But you were fighting mad.
That's what they tell me.
How about a statement?
Sorry, my client was acquitted. That statement enough.
Come on, please. Come on.
All right, gentlemen. During the course of the trial, I was accused of conducting the defense as though I had suspended all the rules of the game. I admit it, because there are no rules to this game. Wherever there's a law that says a defendant may be gassed or shot or hanged or electrocuted, the stake is no longer a silver cup. We're playing for human life, and that's too big a prize to lose.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Egan.
What happened to you? Somebody slap your wrists?
Something like that.
What are you doing here?
I need a lawyer.
Come on, Nicky. Let's have lunch. Because then they become just guys. No police record?
As a kid, a year at Indiana State for stealing food. This is no hoodlum.
Married?
Only to trouble.
Well, gentlemen, I see you're ready to dine. Well, I've got your table all ready, Counselor.
Good, Jake.
And the steaks are on the grill.
We didn't order yet.
I did.
In certain ways, this guy never matured. Never learned to relate to people. He's a typical loner, the kind that traces back to the old-style orphanage. You know what that was like? Spades. Well, someone set you on one road, someone set him on another. Could easily have been the other way around. Happens all the time, Nicky. Don, will you talk to him?
Oh, hi, Jake.
Usual corner.
Ah. Well, congratulations, Counselor. A brilliant defense and a just verdict.
Jerry, how come you never say that to me when I win a case here in Los Angeles?
Well, why should I? Then it's my ox that's being gored. May I?
Of course.
Thank you. Heard about Judge Ferguson?
Retiring?
Yep. You're being talked about as heir to the old boy's judicial robes.
Ah, Jerry. Wrong side of the bench for me. For a while, anyway.
Still a youngster. Still at it, Nick? I do admire your determination. Seems rather odd in this instance.
What's the matter? Am I breaking the law?
No. You going to represent Jarrett?
Could be. But you'll have to ask me first. That brings up a delicate problem, John. You know, truck jockey, not a thin dime. What could I buy with a dime?
I don't need it. I'm a loser. Born that way, I'm going to die that way. Now or later.
Right now, you think you'd sooner die. Okay, if you can. But you might not be that lucky. Suppose you get life imprisonment. You're young. You could be in that cell for 50 years.
Not me. I'll beat my brains out on the wall.
Great. Great finish. Is that what a man's born for? To fight everybody from the time he's knee-high and wind up splashing his brains on a prison floor? A man's born for better than that, Jarrett. Every man.
What do you know about it?
Plenty. You can forget these clothes. I could tell you about the orphan asylum I was in, and I've got a flat knuckle to prove it.
What does that make you? Some sort of god? Am I supposed to get down on my knees and kiss your hand or something? Not me. Me and my brother on that orphanage farm. We had to pick the strawberry crop on our knees. Walking sideways on our knees. 10, 15 acres. Then around the end of the row and back again. Another 10, 15 acres. Then, 'cause I couldn't stand up fast enough, that old louse slammed me on the side of my head with that fist of his that was like the side of a ham. We ran away. And I swore I'd never again flop down on my knees for anyone. Anyone. And that goes for you, the judge, and the guy who opens that gas chamber.
Nobody's asking you to kneel. All I'm doing is asking you to fight. Or are you going to lie down in the lilies and call it a lifetime?
You're really something, you know? What am I fighting for?
If you don't know, forget it. Say, I do have a real funny one for you, though.
Yeah. What?
If you miss one more meal, they're going to slap you in the hospital ward and feed you intravenously, you know, with a needle. Now, that might not be as tasty as ham and eggs, but this county likes to take good care of its prisoners.
Who cares? I've had all the ham and eggs I need for one lousy lifetime. Were you really in an orphanage?
St. Vincent's, Brooklyn.
Well, I ain't decided if I want a lawyer, especially since I heard you're a friend of that rat cop Anderson. But, I'll talk a couple of things over and I'll see.
Good idea. Go ahead, Steve. I'm listening.
Well, I just wanted you to know it was an accident. That's all.
I heard you threaten the patrolman.
Well, people make threats every day. I had no love for the guy. But I didn't want to kill him.
How do you want to plead?
I told you it was an accident. Don't you believe me?
I do. And that's the way it's going to be. But you'll have to level with me, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
All the way. Anything I can do for you in the meantime?
Yeah. Tell these guys the service stinks around here. I'm waiting for my lunch.
As a result of these sessions with your client, It is my opinion that he is not psychopathic, but rather sociopathic.
Will you spell that out, Dr. Kerner? That'll be a new word for a jury.
This is a personality disorder. To be able to identify with another can be a most powerful force for civilized human conduct. But Jarrett cannot identify. He's afraid to identify. He fears personal attachments. So he's antisocial. The atmosphere of his childhood prevented true maturity. So as a result, he's always been in conflict with society.
Good.
Good.
From the viewpoint of trial strategy.
Jerry Miller's job is to prosecute according to the nature of the crime. Now, we'll try to kick that in the pants by making the jury focus on the nature of the defendant.
This defendant is worth saving. I think he can be rehabilitated and converted into a very useful citizen.
Beautiful, Dr. Lady. Now, will you say that on the stand in exactly those words?
Of course.
Yes?
My name is Colleen Riley. I'd like to see Mr. John Egan, please.
I'm John Egan.
Oh, well, I read in the paper that you were going to defend Mr. Jarrett.
That's right. Come in, dear. Is Mr. Jarrett a friend of yours?
Well, yes, we used to go together for a while. I've been trying to see him at the jail, but I guess he doesn't want to see me.
How long have you known him, Miss Riley?
2 years, maybe a little longer. Mr. Egan, Steve couldn't kill anyone. I just know he couldn't. He's gentle, and he's proud. Of course, he won't show you that side. Takes a long time before he trusts anyone, but... And even then, if you get too close, he pushes you away. Of course, we came close to being married once. I'm really running off at the mouth. I only came to ask if I could help.
Well, maybe you can. Would you still like to visit Mr. Jarrett?
Oh, yes. Of course, I don't think he'll see me. He's like that, you know. It always shamed him to get into trouble.
Well, he's in trouble now, and you are about to become a part of Dr. Kerner's patented healing process known as rehabilitation. Come on, dear.
Steve? See? I think I better go.
I didn't say you had to go.
You certainly did invite her to stay.
What's she got to do with the case?
Character witness. She thinks you've got character.
I don't want to hear any moaning and groaning about what kind of trouble I'm in, all right?
No, of course not.
I'll be right back. I left my briefcase in the car.
Mr. Egan, this is a lawyer's visiting room. She ain't a lawyer. If you leave, she's got to leave.
Come on, Phil, help us out.
Well, there are laws.
Well, speaking of laws, you look just like the guy who asked me to get him 2 box seats for the UCLA Stanford game.
Shh, Mr. Egan, I've got a responsible position here.
I'll be right back.
What are you doing with yourself?
I'm still a nurse.
Oh, boy. You always did enjoy mothering people. Listen, I didn't show up that night because some guy offered me $50 for a fast haul. I meant to call, but by the time I got to Calexico, well, what's the deal? Did you wait long?
Pretty long.
You know, a guy should be able to take off every once in a while without having to have explanations made all the time. It wasn't like you had any ties on me or anything.
Naturally, I understand.
No, you don't understand. You don't. You sit there like a superior being and you tell me you understand, but you don't. Nobody does. Joey's dead.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve. I'm so sorry. know, it's a strange thing. I never met Joey, and yet I loved him. I think I loved him because you were always so gentle and warm whenever you talked about him. I guess he was the only person you ever really loved.
Got any boyfriends?
Oh, no, I guess I've been waiting for you to come back.
Oh, Colleen, I'm sorry. You just can't love me without getting hurt.
I guess you've already proved that to me. But here I am, still believing only what I want to believe.
It's almost a joke, isn't it? Yeah, I kept running away from you because I was afraid of not being free. Now look at me.
Now, this is a preliminary hearing. There's no jury. We do nothing but examine the state's case. We present none of our own evidence. If the district attorney presents enough evidence to prove his case, the judge will order you to answer these charges in the Superior Court. Got it?
Yeah. Let's go.
You're walking into a court of law.
Dr. Cook, you examined the body of Patrolman Rogers, did you not?
I did.
Would you tell the court, please, exactly what you found?
I found Patrolman Rogers had died from multiple fractures and wounds created by his body striking rocks in his fall.
I see. And, Doctor, you would definitely attribute his death to the fall.
I do.
Thank you, Doctor. Your witness.
No questions.
That's right. And then he tells this motorcycle cop, I mean the police officer, wait till I catch you alone, buddy.
Those were his exact words?
Well, just about. But whatever it was, he meant business.
Thank you. Your witness.
You must have many truck drivers eat at your cafe.
Oh, sure. We serve good food, that's why. We have,
And you've probably heard many threats made in the heat of anger.
Well, driving those big rigs at night takes a lot out of a man, and they sometimes get a little pesky.
Then this could have been just another one of those empty threats, could it not?
Oh, it could have been, but I...
Thank you. No more questions. Now then, Miss Frazier, you testified that you saw Stephen Jarrett veer his truck and strike the police officer.
That's right.
Tell me, what prompted you and your boyfriend to drive to that particular spot?
Objection.
Sustained.
Miss Frazier, what were you doing in the car?
Well, really,
Were you, kissing?
Objection.
Your Honor, if Miss Frazier was engaged in activities which destroyed the focal point of her attentions, does that not then make her a less reliable witness?
Overruled. Answer the question, Miss Frazier.
I asked, Miss Frazier, were you kissing?
well, now and then, but nothing serious, you know.
Oh, I quite understand. But isn't it true, Miss Frazier, that because you were kissing, only the noise, the sound of what happened brought your attention to what was going on?
I suppose so.
In other words, you didn't actually see, you merely heard. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Berry, you have insisted that you saw the truck veer sharply and strike Highway Patrolman Rogers. Yet Miss Frazier has testified she was kissing you at the time.
That's right.
Well, if you were kissing her, how could you manage to see all this?
I kissed with my eyes open.
I found him callous, indifferent, lacking in compassion, human feelings, and remorse. In the usual sense of the word therapy, the only solution is correctional care.
And yet you stated that a jail cell frightens him more than being executed.
Quite true.
Dr. Horsley, the state appointed you and 2 other psychiatrists to determine if the defendant had an insight into his problem. You were then commissioned to conduct further studies, and these findings are unanimous, are they not?
No. A majority opinion.
Not unanimous?
No.
Then a scholar, equally well-educated, is in complete disagreement with your opinions?
Objection.
Mr. Egan?
Your Honor, even in a preliminary hearing, we hope to establish 2 facts. 1, that Stephen Jarrett is not a person with a vicious nature. And 2, that he gave no evidence of willful and deliberate attempt to harm Highway Patrolman Rogers. It becomes very important to show that psychiatric opinion varies, for which reason
we have taken the liberty of bringing our own impartial psychiatrist. Since this is a capital case, and my client may be forced to go on trial for his life, I ask the court's indulgence while I present the schizoid base of forensic psychiatry.
Mr. Miller. Your Honor, prosecution's always interested in one of Mr. Egan's schizophrenic presentations. I withdraw the objection.
May now answer the question, Dr. Horsley.
Many psychiatrists hold different viewpoints.
And who decides which viewpoint is correct?
Well, that must be an individual decision.
Then your description of Stephen Jarrett's mental attitude could be all wrong.
Well, there are different sides to a problem.
Will the court please instruct the witness to answer?
I think Mr. Egan's looking for a yes or no.
Impossible. You ask if he has the mental attitude to be a killer.
I ask, sir, could your opinion be wrong?
In moments of stress and panic, human life means nothing to him. There is no guarantee that tomorrow he may not try to kill again.
What hijackers? What are we, kids, to go out and believe a lousy wildcatter? A gypsy? The guy is broke, so he gloms part of the load and sells it on the sly. Hijackers. Only from these gyp drivers do you hear about hijackers.
You ever have trouble with Jarrett before?
What are you talking? Can you go near that jinx and not have trouble? Once he breaks down with a load of lettuce in Bakersfield and runs out of ice. In July. Do you hear me? In July? Another time, he's coming down a steep grade with a load of hay, when all of a sudden his brakes give out and he loses 60 bales before he can stop. $7 a bale. And, who pays?
About these raisins that were stolen.
Oh, this is the jackpot. Not only does he boost $300 worth of prime raisins, but all of a sudden he feels like knocking off a cop, and I gotta send another driver up there to pick up the rigs, $20.
Is that what you intend to say in court? That Jarrett simply felt like knocking off a police officer?
Well, I'll tell you how it is. I went to the doctor the other day, just to check up, you know. And he tells me all about this cholesterol jazz and dieting. But he says, I gotta get rid of some of this blubber. He says, otherwise I might die young, you know. Well, the trouble is, it takes a lot of treatments. They cost a pile of dough. With business stinking the way it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. What you mean is that the district attorney told you he wouldn't give you a red cent to testify against the defendant. So for some hard cash, you'd be willing to come over to Jarrett's side.
Did I say that? No, you said that.
Because you're so bashful. How much?
Well, maybe 50 treatments. Maybe $10 a treatment.
$500, huh? And for that, you'd be willing to swear to anything you're told?
We got a deal?
No, stay fat.
Come on, let's talk. I mean, for a lousy $500, you're not going to let the guy touch second base.
I thought you were a smart guy, but you're as dumb as the rest.
What do you mean?
You never heard of a miniphone?
You mean them small tape recorders?
That's right. Intelligence agents use them. And sometimes lawyers who like to see fat cats sweat out a jail term. Ain't it a beaut? You can hardly see the microphone.
Give me that.
You'll testify, Porky. This is what's called having them in the palm of your hand.
Didn't I tell you not to come in today? What if you lose your job at the hospital?
So, I'll get another job. Besides, they know where I'm going.
You tell them you visit? In jail?
Well, of course. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
What, you know you're a dope. You're dumber than my brother Joey. Don't you ever get wise?
Please, let's not fight.
Fight? Well, who can fight with a doormat? Don't you care what people think, what they say about you, Colleen?
No. Steve, I love you, and that's all that matters.
Love? Well, what do you know about love? Love is a cage, a trap, just like this place.
Do you really believe that?
Yes. Look, now, we've gone over this 1,000 times. Why don't you just forget it?
You know, I've always told myself that all you needed was time. That sooner or later you would have to admit to yourself that you did love me. But you know something, Steve? I'm not sure you have any love in you at all.
Mitch! Hello, John. Got a lot of crank calls today, people who don't think a cop killer should be defended.
What did you tell them?
To imagine themselves in Jarrett's position, and would they then like to be deprived of due process?
I'll drink to that. How about you?
No, thanks.
Well, things are looking up. We just cancel out one of the state's witnesses.
Great. Hey, you had any dinner?
Hmm? Oh, sure. Mitch, you get over to Central Jail first thing in the morning. Have another talk with Jarrett, huh? What I specifically want this time is a list of the jobs he's held as far back as he can remember. Kind of a job, kind of pay, and the reasons for leaving each job. The more hard luck that can be proven, the better the list. Got it?
Got it.
That's my boy.
Mr. Egan, where did you eat and what did you eat?
You're beginning to sound like a trial lawyer. How much do I pay you?
Not enough.
I see, you're a worrier. It's very bad.
Listen, why don't I order you Jake's Saturday special? Baked Virginia ham with raisin sauce. You'll have it over in 20 minutes.
What?
What?
The special, what is it?
Baked Virginia ham with raisin sauce.
Mitchell, my boy, you are a genius. Jarrett, you're a hijacker. You just grab yourself about 100 lugs of choice raisins. How do you cash in? How do you cash in?
Well, if I came south, I've got two choices. If I'm an independent, I might try to peddle it to small shopkeepers. And if I'm part of a syndicate, I'd dump it all on a wholesaler at the produce terminal.
Produce terminal?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and if I didn't know my way around, I'd look up Catalina Sorelli.
Catalina Sorelli?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a gentle member of the opposite sex, the queen of San Pedro Street. She got mixed up in a bigamy charge a few years ago. I helped her out. Well...
Hey, you better be careful, Mr. Egan. That's no playground, especially for strangers.
Thanks, Jarrett. I'll be all right.
I gotta eat. I work like a horse. When I used to sing an opera, I learned. When you want to project, you gotta have it here. These skinny sopranos today, always dieting. I'm telling you, I can holler fish better than they can sing.
What about raisins?
Look, I told you. All I know about Jarrett is that everybody's talking. He killed a cop, so everybody talks.
And you listen.
Why not? I shouldn't be polite.
What do they say about Jarrett's story? Do they believe the hijacking part of it?
Oh, my big friend. Every day I say to myself, if you want to live long and be happy, just keep your big ear open and your mouth closed.
I want to be able to tell a jury that hijackers did get at Jarrett's load. Made him so desperate he blew his top. Didn't know what he was doing.
Why are you wasting your time? He's through. He killed a cop. He's through.
What's wrong with you jokers down here? He's a working stiff. He slaves and sweats and worries just like the rest of you. Don't you even give one of your own a break?
Okay. For you. Because you're so good looking. Okay, so we got hijacked. But they don't go out and clip the stuff just like that and then try to fence it. They take orders in advance. You want a load of refrigerators, TV sets, radio tubes? Just tell them what you want, how much you'll pay, and where you want them delivered.
Raisins, too?
Look, if you have customers that want raisins under the market price, You get them raised.
Will you repeat this in court?
No. And if you say that I told you, I'll call you a liar.
Now, Mrs. Sorelli, it's...
You got some sharp friends. They carry around recording gizmos. Yeah, they take down every word a guy says.
How does it work?
That tie clip is a mic. He's got me on that gadget. And I want it. I want that hunk of tape he got on me. I want it!
I think you're going to have a stroke.
What do you mean? What kind of thing is that to say to a man?
You look bad, so I said it.
I got too much weight. I just got to lose some weight. Okay. But you better watch out. Some dark night, somebody's liable to come up behind you. You know? Somebody.
You got me on that thing, too.
Take a look.
What a nerve. But I like it when a guy puts one over on me.
Mrs. Sorelli, will you help me? You dig up the name of one man who was in on that hijacking. Just his name. What do you say for Jarrett's life? He's only 28.
Are you married? I buried 3 husbands.
You're a lot of woman.
I got good stock. I have 5 grown daughters. I go to church every time I remember it. I can write a check for $100,000, and I keep a clean bed.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm just putting the idea in your head. Does it do any harm?
How can it?
Right.
Right.
And while you're thinking, you'd start calling me Catalina. About the other thing. Let me think it over. You know, a woman in love has many angles.
Mrs. Sorelli calling.
Oh, why didn't you buzz?
Oh, of course. I'll do that next time.
Catalina? Oh, already?
Well, no wonder you got Porky Flint in such an uproar. It was him.
The hijacking?
I got it on a word that's as good as diamond. Flint is the setup man. No wonder he talks skinny and stays fat. This cockroach makes a contract to haul. Then he tips off certain guys what's on the manifest. Well, they grab it, they give him a slice, and he collects both ways. Smart?
Like fresh paint.
The fat cockroach. Always wondered why he picked drivers like Jarrett.
Floaters, no money, sometimes a police record.
He gets the dough and they get the blame. What a cockroach.
Will you, tell this to the district attorney?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm not getting mixed up in nothing.
Catalina?
Okay. Okay. What can I do? You're such a doll. I can't resist you.
Thanks, Catalina. And that's all of it, Jerry. Now, you know what this story will mean to your case. No matter what you say to them, the jury will see the defendant as a man who's been exploited, double-crossed, driven by desperation. A working man who got into trouble while scratching for an honest living.
Well, anyway, I'm sure that's what you'll make him think.
Well, let's just say I wouldn't presume to withhold such information.
Look, Irish, this Jarrett, he got under your skin too, didn't he?
What can I do? I just believe in giving a sucker a break.
Yeah. Plead him guilty. Involuntary manslaughter. That should satisfy all parties.
Jerry, sometimes I like you so much. If you weren't married, I'd introduce you to Catalina Sorelli.
I'm scared. I don't mind saying it.
Well, if you can admit you're scared, you've come a long way. You'll be all right, Jarrett. You're going to Chino, a minimum security prison where they have handball courts, a swimming pool, baseball diamond. You can have family picnics on Sunday. When did you ever have it so good?
Yeah, great. I've finally become a joiner the hard way, huh?
Now, you just button your lip. Take some high school courses. Let them teach you a trade, and you can be out on parole in 18 months.
Maybe you can pretend I'm family and we could have one of those picnics, huh?
Steve? Yeah? You're going to be a freer man in prison than you ever were on the outside. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No. Right now I'm too scared, but I'll think it out. Anyway, thanks. I'll see you, Colleen. You too, Cop.
Take care, Jarrett.
You know, he always boasted to me that he never said thanks to any man. So I guess that is a start, huh, Mr. Egan?
It's a good start, Colleen. Well, that's that. Yeah. Let's go, Nick.